Hey Ron, thanks very much for joining in. We're going to talk about Superman Lois episode 5. So there's going to be some spoilers, so please look away if you haven't seen it yet. If you have seen it, let me know what your thoughts are. So this episode starts with 17 years in the past. We talk about a little bit more about Lex's divorce and then also custody battle for Elizabeth with his wife. We also talk about we see a little bit more how Lex was before versus how Lex is now. Lex right now is on a warpath for revenge because he feels like Lois has ruined everything for him. And even though later on in the episode when he meets Elizabeth and Elizabeth is pregnant now, Elizabeth is grown up, she tries to tell him, hey, you have a chance now to go ahead and make things right with me, but you're still choosing revenge because I think that's such a nice little touch because that's who Lex is. Lex is on that type of person, so it's really hard for him to snap out of it, which means that he will have to let go all this rage and all this animosity and all these things that he's been planning just like that because his daughter came back to life, but he also wants her in his life. We have a little bit of situation because Candace comes back to town to talk to Jonathan. Jonathan is helping his mom, and then Candace is a little bit suspicious what's going on. Later on, Jordan fills her in. So she said that Jordan told her everything, but how much is everything we don't know yet. It seems like Jordan has told her that, that is a Superman. They have powers. That's what they're doing right now. So that's why her demeanor changed a lot. Lex is really, really good in this episode. It shows just what he's been through, but also how easily he's ticked off, and it shows how short of a fuse he has. And we see Jonathan and Jordan bonding a little bit more. Jordan is now covering a little bit more for Jonathan. Jordan is coming into his own a little bit more too. We see that Clark is trying to approach also Lex and have the deeper conversation as far as, hey, you know what? Let's talk this out, dad to dad. Let's figure this out. Let's see what we need to do to kind of put this behind us. But that's not working for Lex. Lex is on, and like I said, on a warpath of revenge for Lois, and he will do anything that it takes to um, ruin her life and possibly go after Superman again. As they were planning on basically escaping to Fortress of Solitude, Lois has an idea to summon a Doomsday. But because the Doomsday was created from the Bizarro still had the memories of Lois when Bizarro was married to her, and so Lois tapped into those emotions, tapped into those feelings of Bizarro, and it seems like she has made some kind of a deal with him. Lex comes back to find that Bizarro is gone, the Doomsday is gone, and that now Lex doesn't know what is going to happen. But I think the way the Lex is portrayed, any little inconvenience can set him off. Any little distraction can set him off. Anything can just push him off the ledge and just completely destroy him, and it's gonna give him even more fuel to go get to down a path of basically destruction and to do what he wants to do. Lex is extremely stubborn. We see that in the past. Also, we see the custody battle. We see the lawyer battle for the custody of Elizabeth. Elizabeth is, of course, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched it. She is also a veteran for superhero TV shows, and she was in The Flash, so the actress. So check it out. If you haven't seen The Flash, just in case if you haven't seen The Flash, look at it. It's a really good show. It had a really good run, so. But yeah, this show is wrapping up pretty good. There's a lot of loose ends that's coming up, but I feel like what's going to happen is that I think it's going to hit the fan, and what's going to happen is just going to be a major blowback after blowback every single time. So now, the Doomsday is possibly working with Lois Lane. Clark Kent has tried to help Lex repair his relationship with his daughter. Jordan and Jonathan are bonding. Jordan is becoming more powerful. Jonathan is becoming more powerful. We see the relationships are forming. We see that. So all these things are kind of happening, but I feel like what's going to happen is there's boot that's going to drop that's just going to squish everything, and then all hell will break loose. But let me know what your thoughts are about this episode. I am really loving the show. As much as I'm excited for the new Superman and the brand new universe that the DC is doing right now, which I fully support and I cannot wait to see, this also has been a really, really good show. I watched it from the season 1, and I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm going to be sad to see it end. This version of Superman is it's more hopeful, it's more considerate, but it's also more, he is not afraid to punch when he needs to punch. There's one thing that happened where Clark went back to the Fortress of Solitude to talk to his mom and to see what weakness does the Doomsday have. But then this is just before Lois had an idea to summon it and to have a conversation with it. So I know that a lot of these shows sometimes rely on let's have a really heart-to-heart conversation in order to change. But what I'm noticing, what I'm liking about this is that Lex is not buying any of that. That doesn't work for Lex. He is on a revenge, and there's nothing that's going to distract him, even if you bring in his daughter. But I think it's going to happen. That's just going to add more fuel to the fire. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think so far of the season. We're on episode 5. I don't know how many episodes they're gonna have this season, but let me know what you think. I think it's kind of a little bit of a slow burn right now, because I think what they're gonna do is gonna crank it up in the second portion of the season, and that's when everything is gonna kind of go into a major demolition, and people are going to die, and characters are going to get killed off, and there's going to be pretty much awesomeness. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you guys at the next review.